It's a calmer weekend in terms of geopolitics, that's for sure.
Yes.
And the Haven bid that was in the market through last week comes back out. But how do you apply any kind of risk premium to a market around an issue like this?
Well, I think you have to decide if it really matters or doesn't. I mean, I'm in the camp that it doesn't really matter. What's going on in the economy is still ultimately what's driving markets, and that, if we have a brief period of turbulence, it is what it is. It's not a disaster.
Yeah, just to be clear, though, what does matter surely would be a nuclear war.
Yes,
What doesn't matter
yes.
it's the words.
The words don't matter, no. I mean, I can understand people getting nervous. I can understand that you wake up in the morning and you see this in the headlines. You're talking about Guam all of a sudden on Thursday morning. It's not really a part of the world that you spend a lot of time worrying about typically. And I think more than anything, I think markets were ready to go down a bit. And I think that's what we saw last week.
Right, and that was sort of the rhetoric from last week. The valuations were so high, there was no margin for error. So anything comes out, then you're going to want to take profits for what had a huge run-up in prices. Do you agree with that for what we saw?
I think people have had a pretty good year so far, and people had an inclination ahead of summer vacations to take some chips off the table. I think that's been a decent driver of this.
So then the formula winds up being you still want to buy the dip. Is that still true?
I like some of the things which went down. I mean, I like actually the part of the world which surrounds North Korea. I think has great economic fundamentals at this point in time, and it makes sense that people liquidated places like South Korea and Taiwan more aggressively than other parts of the world. But I think those are both interesting markets. They've done much better than people would have expected this year. And I don't think you have to buy the first second it goes down, but I think this is an opportunity to build positions.